Oh, yes, yes, yes. Good day, people of Africa and African descent. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are on the African continent and around the world. All people of African descent in the United States, Caribbean, and everywhere. I've been compelled to add on the issue of Mali. Mali. Recently had a problem which started in 2020, whereby there was a coup d'etat that happened in Mali. That coup d'etat was steered by the leader failing to deliver economic development to the people. And in addition, the leader has been in cahoot and working with France for a very long time. Now, historically, Mali got independence around the same period as countries like Ghana and Guinea. If you remember that in Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in his first attempt to unify Africa, temporarily Ghana, Mali and Guinea came together to form a union of African states. So it is around this period. Now, a look at Mali tells you that Mali exports a lot of gold and uranium and other minerals. And it depends, most of the revenue, 24% of Mali's revenue comes from gold, and gold accounts for more than 64% of the exports for Mali. So if there is anyone doubting why this mutiny or why this coup happened, it is because the people have been seeing that the resources are going out, but those resources are not benefiting them as a people, as African people. And yet the leaders, as a typical African country, the leaders have been sending out the resources and giving them out to France, which is in the Sahel, has been exploiting Africa for a very, very long time. So the leaders have failed in their task of looking after their people, and they have resorted to look after France and its interests, and then themselves. So this is what brought about this coup. Now, it's important for us to understand that background before we understand what is going on in Mali. Now, instead of our African leaders addressing this problem of the resources, they are just looking at the issue of electing and going back to the democratic rule as the only solution, because we have been at this stage for the last 60 years, but it has not delivered the goods for us. And the Malian people are saying that if we have been at this level and are doing the same thing and has not been delivering for us, then we need to look at this thing carefully. There is a way democracy has been looked at as democracy in its sense of neoliberalism, of voting after maybe every 4 years. There is a way in Africa in which it has been looked at as the end in itself. By the end, I mean that it is the only thing that we are looking for. And yet, in the real sense of democracy and elections, the elections are supposed to deliver to us good leaders. So, this means that the good leaders, in turn, they should be able to deliver to us the good life which we want in the shortest time possible, without delay. So if democracy has not been able to deliver this, as democracy in the sense of electing leaders every 4 years or every 5 years or every 7 years, it depends on the country. Like Senegal, I think they do it 7 years. And other countries 4 years, other countries 5 years, in Africa. So if this system has not been able to deliver the goods for us, I think that it is imperative that we start looking at this system, realistically, with a sharp eye and say, if the system has not been able to deliver, then we need to revise it. Okay, if we have to redesign a new system, like in Ethiopia, they have a different system of governance. That means we have to redesign the system and come up with a far different system. Maybe it has to be with the appointment and electing, something like that. We see what is happening in China. We see what is happening in other countries like South Africa. For example, in South Africa, they don't vote on the president, or everyone doesn't vote on the president. I mean, the majority of the people, but the majority of the people, they elect the representatives. And the representatives, they will go on and elect the president. So if we start looking at things which work for us and which would deliver, the goods for us, I think it will be very important. Now, the situation in Mali is important for us, to study this and understand what is going on there, instead of us coming and imposing sanctions as ECOWAS has done. So I think that the Pan-African body and the African world needs to come and attend to this situation before the African leaders and in ECOWAS, take it out and out of hand and misuse it and misjudge the situation, because according to their actions and what they have done, honestly, I think they have misjudged the situation out of fear that this will be replicated in their areas, in their countries, and so they want to put back the Malian people in this situation. The measures which they have decided to impose on Mali, as in sanctions, they violate actually the United Nations Human Rights Charter. They are a violation. If you deny people, food, access to food, this is a violation of human rights. Okay, so I think we need to do things which favor Africa and favor the masses. And this is where, as I have repeated again and again, Pan-Africanism and Pan-Africanists are supposed to come in and advise these ECOWAS leaders and leaders in other regions on what to do. Personally, I would think that the East African community, the South Africa development countries, the SADC countries, they should all come together, and Maghreb and North African countries and the AU, they should all come together, and this should be held in the form of a dialogue, not sanctions. Sanctions is a tool that has been used repeatedly by neocolonialism. So we cannot resort to the same tool. We cannot resort to the same tool and bring a lot of suffering to our people. They already don't have big lands in Mali where they farm. They are supposed to be depending on mining. If anything, we should be, we in the sub-Saharan Africa, sending agricultural products into Mali instead of putting sanctions that they should not get the necessary items and the things which are very necessary. They are necessities of life for them to survive. So I want to appeal to the Pan-African world and the African people who care about this land of ours, Africa, all over the continent, because the age in which we are requires us to respond to African problems in unison. If imperialism is ravaging, for example, Libya, you should well know that within a short time, it will reach Mozambique, it will reach South Africa, because the terrorists will be allowed to move all over the continent. So it is imperative that we respond to these problems all over the continent in unison, wherever you are. If you are in Kenya and you're an African, you should be concerned about the affairs that are happening, everything that is happening in Mali. If you are an African in South Africa, you should be concerned about what is happening in Central African Republic, or what is happening in Mali, what is happening in Morocco or Algeria or Egypt, because all this is Africa. There is no Middle East in Africa. That should be made very, very clear that this land belongs to us. Cape Verde, all over Burkina Faso, everywhere, we Africans should be concerned about whatever is happening on every single corner of our continent. So I want to thank you for watching this part, and I will come back again. This is Africa Reimagined. That is the channel. My name is Kwame Gonza. I will be coming here to discuss what happens on all over the continent, the events that are happening around the world, and how they affect our continent. We'll be discussing current affairs, foreign affairs, and how Africa should respond. For now, we believe that Africa should respond in the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah, should respond in unison, and we should all say, Africa must unite, Africa must unite, until we meet again. Thank you very much.